and welcome to the Fantasy News Show from the Bottled Imp. My name is Ken Boyter and this is your weekly fix of fantasy news. On today's show, the new Ghostbusters film has its first trailer online right now. UK Games Expo offers you the chance to pitch your game to industry professionals, and the Festival of Steam and Transport has a steampunk village. But first, we start with more sad news. There's quite a lot of this recently. It's very sad. Special Effects Supervisor Tony Dyson has died aged 68. He's best known for building the R2-D2 droid from the Star Wars films. Originally, they commissioned him to build 8 units. He also worked on films such as Superman 2, Moonraker, and from a fantasy point of view, he created the huge giant dragon in the 1981 film Dragon Slayer. Obviously, our thoughts do go out to his family and friends. As I say, the new Ghostbusters film has its trailer online. It's a rebooted version of the 1984 original classic Ghostbusters. It does have obviously a new lineup of characters. It's directed by Paul Feig. It stars Melissa McCarthy, Christian Wiig, Kate McKinnon, Leslie Jones and Chris Hemsworth, and apparently Charles Dance from Game of Thrones crops up in the film as well. Now obviously I've seen the trailer and I liked it. Julian, who co-created the Bottled Imp, for those that don't know, he wasn't too keen on it. But hey, what do we know? We've just seen the trailer. It'll be good to see the film to finally find out exactly what they've done with this classic. You can obviously visit the YouTube channel to find out if you like the trailer, or their official website. And it's released in the US of A on the 15th of July in cinemas. Anomalisa is released in the UK on the 11th of March, and it's written and directed by the amazing Charlie Kaufman, who has obviously done films such as Being John Malkovich, Adaptation, and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Now, this film is a comedy non-stop animation that isn't strictly speaking fantasy. So why is it here? Well, I've made a tenuous link. It does actually have the voiceover skills of David Thewlis, if that's how you pronounce his name, who played Remus Lupin. Shocking pronunciations. In the Harry Potter film. So there is a link there to fantasy. But also Charlie Kaufman his films can go off into fantasy, flights of fantasy. So it'll be really interesting to see if this film does as well. And Julian's squeaking away on his chair over there. He's trying his best to put me off. But it's not going to happen. So there we go. As I say, Charlie Kaufman does actually go off into flights of fantasy in his film. So maybe this one does. It does look amazing. I've seen the trailer. It looks really touching and moving as well as funny. And it does look like you can emotionally connect with the film and the characters, which for me, that's one of the main draws of any film. So yeah, as I say, go and see it on the 11th of March to see if it really does have any fantasy elements in it. Mythica Entertainment have launched their new fantasy web series called Ren, and you can find the trailer and episodes 1 and 2 on their website. Part 3 goes live on the 15th of March, and Ren is the story of a woman who has been marked by an ancient spirit. And I'm not quite sure what that means. I think it affects your soul as well, not just a mark on your face. And she doesn't know why that's happened or what she can do about it or what it actually means. So that's kind of the premise of the story. Now, this was a Kickstarter project, so it's really good to see a Kickstarter project go from nothing, not being funded, right through to being funded. It did raise over £36,000, so it does have quite good production values in it. I have seen episode 1 and the trailer. It does look good. You can check it out yourself. As I say, you can go to YouTube, and they do have their own website as well. Time Bandits fans, you will be pleased to know that you can buy a set of miniatures representing each of the Time Bandits. Now, when I say Time Bandits, what I actually mean is Time Robbers. Now, I'm not 100% sure why they've changed the name. I suspect it's to do with the copyright licensing reasons, but it's slightly strange. But the company who makes them, which is the Northumbrian Tin Soldier company, they have done a really good job. It actually looks like each character, each of the Time Bandits. So I'm not 100% sure why they've had to change the name. Anyway, they have also done the Robin Hood character that was played by John Cleese in the film. And you do have to paint them yourself, but obviously if you are fans of painting miniatures, then that's perfect for you. And you can buy them from their shop, or from their online shop, individually or as a complete set. Now, when I went to order mine, because I want them, they've run out of the complete set. You can put your email into their website and they will update you when it comes back into stock, but you can still buy the individual ones. Their website is ntseshop.co.uk. Siege Studios are offering 2 essential masterclasses for painting miniatures. So obviously if you've never painted miniatures before and you fancy buying these Time Robbers miniatures, then maybe this is a way to learn how to paint. It's designed for all levels, and it says it's going to help create you painting armies. So this is more, I guess, directed towards tabletop gaming, as in Warhammer type games, that, you know, the battling with the miniatures, those sorts of games. And they do say that they're going to take you to bronze and silver levels. Apparently they do a gold standard, which is obviously high quality, and they do a platinum level as well, which is even higher in quality. But this is for beginners right up to the silver level. They're both being held at Wayland Games in Hockley in Essex, which is in the UK. And the first one is from the 18th of June to the 19th of June, and the second one is the 3rd and 4th of September. And they do have a Facebook page, so you can put their name in, Siege Studios, and you'll be able to find their Facebook page to get their details. Have you ever wanted your own tabletop game published? Well, at the UK Expo, you can have just that chance. They're doing a Dragon's Den style competition where you can pitch your idea and prototype of your game to industry professionals. Now, as I say, it has to be a prototype. For those of you that don't know, that's basically just a mock of your game. So if you've got cards, instead of you just pretending that you've got cards, you'd actually get bits of paper or card and you just write it out, or you might get a low-level printing job done, and it's a prototype. And so what they want is you to have a prototype and for you to have play tested it a good couple of times. So they want everything to be kind of worked out, the mechanics, and I guess the theme of it as well. They don't want you just to walk in with an idea, just to say, well, I've got this idea about a dragon and a spatula, and know nothing else about the game. Obviously, Dragon Spatula is copyrighted by the Bottle Imp, just to make sure if anyone's thinking of producing that game. Anyway, that's enough rambling. They are calling it the Raven's Lair, which the submissions for your entry, if you do want to pitch, is the 18th of April, and that's easy to remember because that's my birthday. Oh yes. So, and you'll be able to pitch it at the UK Expo, which runs from the 3rd to the 5th of June. If you visit their website, ukgamesexpo.co.uk, you'll be able to get all the details that you need. The Festival of Steam and Transport Festival is a festival with all manner of exciting attractions, all based around steam and transport, as it says in the title. It takes place at the Chatham Dockyard in Kent. The reason why I'm bringing it to your attention is it does have a very own steampunk village. It's all that's there. They've even got a steampunk tea shop. There'll be tarot readers. There'll be stalls selling steampunk clothes and accessories and gadgets and books. They're going to have music there. There's going to be cosplay. There's even an author's corner where we can get authors to sign your books or do some readings. Plus, the Bottled Imp illustrator Rich, otherwise known as the Artful Doodler, he'll be there. He's got a little stand. He does caricatures. So if you go along with your cosplay, he'll go up and see him. He'll do a little caricature for you. He does charge, obviously. But it is very good. He's brilliant artist. And the good news is, not that that's not good news, but the even better news is that I'm going to be going. Yay! I haven't got a stand there or anything. I'll just be wandering around because I've never been before and I want to check it out. So if you do recognise me, how vain is this? If you do recognise me, no, in all seriousness, come up and say hello. It'd be nice to chat to you if you have seen the show. And I'm going to be there on the Bank Holiday Monday, which is the 28th of March. The actual festival is over the 27th and the 28th of March, and if you visit the dockyard.co.uk, you can get all the details that you need. And finally, Kickstarter news. Too Many Bones is a game by Chip Theory Game. And it's a fantasy dice builder RPG. It's 1 to 4 players. Apparently it takes 60 to 90 minutes. They do have a previous game, and I have no idea how to pronounce it. Let's give it a go, shall we? It's Hop-a-lock... I got nowhere. I didn't even finish the sentence. Hoplomachus. I think that's how you pronounce it. Hoplomachus. Apparently he did get some pretty good reviews on Game Boy Geek, so they do have a track record, and I think that's pretty important when you're backing games, because you want to know what the mechanics are like, you want to know if they can deliver it on time and all of those logistics. I think it's harder to produce a game than most people think. Anyway, it does have loads of stuff in the box. It's dice and tokens and cards, that sort of thing. And they also do have a very handy how to play video. And I think that's very important, because for me, if I'm going to buy a game, I want to know how it plays. I want to know the mechanics. I do get seduced by fantasy artwork. That's a weakness of mine. So really, the best way to judge a game is how it plays. There are plenty of add-ons as well if you want to back that one. The campaign is already funded and it finishes on the 11th of March, so be quick, you've only got 2 days left. Ultra Coins by Ultimate Custom Coins is a battling spinning coins game for 2 to 8 players, and you score points on depending how your coin spins and lands. That's what I can gather. There's nothing else, there's no cards or tokens, it's just all about the coins. It does look different. I've not come across a spinning coin game. I'm sure there are plenty out there, but that's not really been something that's been on my radar. The fantasy artwork on them, though, does look stunning, so I can't get tempted, though. I shouldn't. Anyway, the coins are solid brass, so it does look good quality. This campaign does close on the 27th of March. Slugfest Games have their 5th Kickstarter campaign up and running. The Red Dragon Inn, The Battle for Greyport, is a co-op fantasy deck building game that's set in the same universe as the Red Dragon Inn. Now, it is a standalone game. You don't need to have bought or played any of the other Red Dragon Inn games. And the premise is that the city is under attack from monsters. It's burning. You need to defend the city and obviously the Red Dragon Inn, because that's where you like a nice ale. It's 2 to 4 players, and there's plenty of cards and tokens and dice in the box. It is, as I say, it's a standalone game. It's from Slugfest. Now, they have a good track record. They've done about 20 previous games, so they know what they're doing. I've got Red Dragon Inn. We do have a YouTube video on that if you want to check that review out. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was really good fun, and the artwork was lovely. That campaign does close on the 1st of April. It is already funded. And finally, Gods and Goddesses Volume 2, the Fantasy Illustration Library, from Michael Publishing, is the 2nd publication of Fantasy Fine Art. This book is 9 inches by 12 inches and it's a hardback book, and it's going to contain over 100 original paintings and from top fantasy artists and illustrators and sculptors from around the world. They have samples, obviously, of the artwork on the Kickstarter campaign. It does look very impressive, and there's loads of different styles and mediums, so it does look really good. As I say, there's sculptures there where they've taken pictures of the sculptures. So yeah, I was very impressed by this. And now, apparently, Michael Publishing was started by a guy called Michael, and he's otherwise known apparently as the Collector. And it was him and his twin brother. They're big fans of fantasy, and they've been collecting fantasy artwork and memorabilia for about 35 years, apparently. So they are very passionate, and for me, that's a good thing. If you're going to be doing a Kickstarter project, you have to be passionate and love what you're doing. That one closes on the 1st of April. And finally, the Bottled Imp news. We do have 2 more Bottled Imp Dice Tower Edition board game reviews up on the Dice Tower YouTube channel. If you've not been there, check them out. They do all sorts of reviews of board games. We specialise in fantasy. They do all types of... So if you do like to play other types of board games, then I would recommend watching their reviews. Our 2 latest reviews up there is Epic, which is a fantasy card game. It's kind of deck building, and it's kind of like Magic the Gathering. That's all I'm going to say. Check out the review. Plus, the other one we put up there is Once Upon a Time, which is a storytelling card-based game. And we do have, I think that's our 8th one up there on their channel, so you can check out our other ones. Also, obviously, you can check out our own board games on our YouTube channel, but we also have a website where you can see the Dice Tower edition videos that we've done. That's thebottledimp.com. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, as you'd expect. But for now, fellow imps, thank you so much for watching. I'm getting exhausted just telling you the news here. It's been a pleasure. Until next time, remember fellow imps, keep it unreal, especially the news.